the Heartland Conqueror Set. Should you grab it or should you trash it? Hey guys, it's Dan and welcome back to Unified Gaming. Now in this episode of Should You Grab It or Should You Trash It, we're reviewing the Heartland Conqueror Set. Now, what does this set do, where do you get it and all that stuff? First and foremost, you get this set in Blackwood. This comes with the Blackwood chapter and the review is week 1 of the PTS. It is northeast of Gideon, as shown here on the map, and when you get here you'll see a man with a big sword. You'll then find a blacksmith station just behind him. To the right you'll see the woodworking station. There's also a cooking station nearby should you get hungry, and on the left you have the clothing and also the jewelry crafting. So for those people that need to know where they are, that's where you find them. Now, what is this set good and bad at? Well, we need to know what it does. So, what does this set do? Well, it is a crafted set, which means there's loads of benefits already. You can give it to players whether they own or don't own Blackwood, which is great. It also gives you weapon and spell damage for the 2-piece, magicka for the 3-piece and stamina for the 4-piece. The 5-piece is where it's really interesting though. It increases the effectiveness of your weapon trait by 100%, but it doesn't work on ornate or intricate traits as of this review. This may change in the future, but we have to wait and see. And as for the number of traits, this is in fact a 7 trait item. So it does take a little while to make, but it's not too bad. Now, before we tell you the good or the bad and everything you need to know, whether you trash it or whether you grab it, you need to know what the 5-piece does. And the first thing is, it does not increase with item quality. So as you make this gold, blue, all that stuff, this stays at a flat 100%, which in all honesty is quite a good thing for people testing it out, but you don't get that power increase with it, which is a bit sad. So what is it good and what is it bad at? Well, I want to say a huge thank you to Dali who helped test this. Dali jumped on the PTS with me and we tested loads of combinations: Frozen Watcher, Torag's Pact, the set in question, the Heartland Conqueror set, a Swarm Mother, all sorts of set combinations you can think of. If you're worried whether I missed something, let me know in the comments and I'll tell you if I tested it or not and what the results are. But I'm going to leave some gameplay on screen now just showing you that testing process. And I also looked at it in PvE too. So what are the pros for this set? Well, the first thing to know is it is really flexible. And that's a lot of reallys. The big thing that's great about this is that you can use this and change your build on the fly, which means if you carry a duplicate weapon and you have a different trait, you can change how the build feels. Some of the best case uses for this set were powered, charged, and also training, surprisingly. I also really liked using Infused for parts too. Now, what was it really good at? One of the biggest things was powered. This is a phenomenal healer set, surprisingly. Getting access to healing done is really hard, but when you use this set, it increases your heals by 9%, which is just huge. It's literally wearing Sanctuary, so this is a great healer set. And then it has lots of utility with the charged effect on it. If you use the charged status effect, that's normally 220% chance to get the status effect. So proc, this bumps up to 440, which is a huge chance if you ask me. And from testing, this was pretty much proccing the status effect on cooldown for most single target skills, and that also includes glyphs as well. This made it really good at applying burning, chilled and concussed really easily. It could also apply things like minor brittle, which is again really great to have access to for the group. And in PvP, you could immobilize people on cooldown with the Wall of Frost, which again was really crazy. And that is without a frost enchantment. So if you do PvP, you know how good that is. If you're on a warden like I was, you could even layer this with gripping shards or the Winter's Revenge and Wall of Frost together, and you have something that auto immobilizes, as you see in the gameplay, which is really strong. You could also use it with more nuances, where things like Absorb Stamina has physical damage on it, which means as a magicka build, you can apply Minor Breach on cooldown pretty much reliably, just by using the charge trait with the absorb stamina glyph. And that is where this really shines. On any status build, you are laughing. This is arguably the best set for that. So that it gives you loads of support. For a tank in PvE, you don't have to use Frozen Watcher anymore. You can cast Wall of Frost, and then you'll have a good uptime on Minor Brittle, which is another way to get that buff, which is really valuable for group play. One of the other pros with this is the fact that it's crafted. It's easy to get, and it's tradable, so that just makes it even easier to use. As for other traits that work really well with this, I really liked Defending. Defending is phenomenal for a PvP healer. As a PvP healer, you can use Powered and get an extra 9% healing done. So you get 80% healing done with Powered with this set. And you can also get an extra 3,000 armor with this set, giving you an extra 6,000 armor with Defending. This allows this 5-piece to give you 9% healing and 3,000 armor, which is a really unique effect. So you can really mix and match it based on what you need. Now, the cons of this set include damage. And you're probably going, but Torag's Pact and this sounds broken together, and it's really not. As you'll see in the testing, I've tried using Warden, which has loads of percent boosts. I have also used Malakath, which does buff the tooltips, by the way. It does show it on the game now, which is great. And I could not get the glyph above, 9,000 easily without really compromising the build. And that was with CP in as well. The 10% on the direct damage and the 10% on single target. So 20% bonus on CP and Minor Berserk and all the animal companion buffs, and I could not get this over 9,000. Easily shows you how low the damage actually is. And that's with Torag's Pact. On top of that, the cooldown does not change, and that there is the issue. If the cooldown got decreased when you use this set, then it will be good for damage. But at present, on week 1 of the PTS, because it has that cooldown being left as it is and it only buffs the potency, this is not good for Infused if you ask me, except for when you use Infused on a Frost Staff, because you're almost guaranteed to proc shield and thus immobilize with Wall of Elements. But beyond that, I wouldn't use it for damage. I have tried it with Nirnhoned and with Sharpened, and with Nirnhoned it's really terrible. Nirnhoned increases the damage of the weapon, which means that when you actually use this on a build, you get about 300 weapon and spell damage with this with Nirnhoned extra than just using Nirnhoned by itself, which means this is not good for damage on Nirnhoned builds. As for Sharpened though, it has pretty good damage, so you sacrifice some potential damage like with Stan's Favor, for example, to have that flexibility. So that is the trade-off, that you can get damage with Sharpened, but again, it's not the best one if you ask me. So all in all, should you grab this or should you trash it? And I think the answer is really simple. If you are a healer in PvE and you need to apply status effects and heal people, you should grab this 100%. If you are a healer in PvP, you should grab this 110%, because having healing done and resistances is really key, and this gives you both really easily. If you're somebody who likes to play group and support builds in PvP or PvE, this again is great for you. But if you're a damage dealer and you want to kill people, kill things, you should trash this as soon as you get it. So that there is the grab or trash answers. Healers, tanks, support builds, brilliant for those, but DPS is a bit lackluster. That may change though if they adjust the Infused cooldown, but we have to wait and see. As with kind of just a slight nuance which I want to mention, and it applies to lots of just playstyles, is the training trait, and I've left this to the end as well as Decisive. This is really good for training. If you're trying to level up a character, this is bonus experience. You should be using this 100%. If you're trying to farm CP, this is right up your alley. It's bonus experience. Why wouldn't you? If you're making a new character, as it's a flat boost, this would always be strong from level 4 to level 50. So again, this is good to use. But for the Decisive trait, is this good for you? Well, it's an honourable mention. If you have lots of sources of income and ultimate generation, light attacks, minor heroism, major heroism, blood spawn, this is great. You get an extra ult on each tick. But if you only have just light attack ult gen, yeah, don't use it. It's terrible if you're trying to get ult gen from this. So that's just one thing to note. But all in all, if you had to ask me, would I grab this or would I trash it? I would grab this 100%, as it gives you lots of fun and unique builds that you can create with this set. But that there is my review. I'd like to know what you think about it. Do you like this set? Did I miss something out? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what you think. And if there were to be any adjustments, what would you change? Would you let it reduce the enchantment cooldown? Would you let it work with, intricate and ornate? I don't know, let me know. But I'm gonna wrap this video up here. So I wanna say a huge thanks to everybody who's watched this far. And if you like these videos and you wanna see more episodes of Grab or Trash, then make sure that you are liking, you are commenting, and more importantly, you are subscribed, as many of you are still not. And I wanna say a massive thank you once more to Dali and to all of the Patreons who support me to make these videos. Without their support, I could not do this. So if you wanna help me make videos, and all that stuff, get access to them early, support on Discord and whatnot. There's details in below. Same with merchandise if you want to buy that. But I'm going to wrap this video up here as it's long enough as it is. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care and bye.